I had my eye on the time. It was just a busy, rough day, and I just wasn't feeling it. All kinds of things. That was the only bright spot. It was a good day for memes, but for me, that was about it. My personal favorite was the tweet that just said, "A second plane has struck Her Majesty." Conflating her death with 9/11 for some reason was just like almost what I needed today. But yeah, just difficult work. It really stretched out. Just could not get the thing I was working on to actually fucking work. Hey, Cone. Thank you for 4 years as well. Ah, sorry to hear that, Legendary. Yeah, I generally have a pretty good time with work, but I had to work on something today that I was a lot more out of my depth than I expected to be. It was JavaScript stuff. JavaScript's kind of wild because shit can be all over the fucking place. And depending on like what the general vibe is, I can either sink or swim. Um, and basically, it has to do with the fact that there's just like a pretty wide array of paradigms that people can use, and some of them are so far out there that I just don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm used to jQuery. I can get into a big pile of jQuery and dig around and figure it out, or just like regular vanilla JavaScript. But then, there's more bleeding edge stuff, if you can call it that. I don't know, like ES6. Uh, Basically, this thing I was working with was sort of, I guess, a state machine type of paradigm. Uh, it was like one module of a thing that was built essentially like an application. And I'm biased because it was irritating me, but I would kind of describe it as like over engineered. But fucking hell, man. Basically, I needed it to do a type of functionality that it was just simply not built to do. And it was just like this labyrinth of awaits, promises. It was using the fuck is it called? RxJS or whatever. I have no experience with. Uh Fucking black magic observer stuff that I didn't understand at all. And I'm down to learn shit that I don't know. But the problem in a working context is that you have a limited amount of time that you can spend on working on something before you have to fucking call it and move on. Which unfortunately is why a lot of code bases out there turn into big piles of shit. But that's life. But yeah, I was just trying to like jank my way through it, which I hate doing. I hate walking into what was at one time somebody's beautiful arrangement of code and then just like ramming garbage into it just to try to get it over the finish line. But that's what I was doing. And because of the like things that are written like that are extremely resistant to garbage as well. That's kind of the point. So that makes it even worse because then I'm doing really fucked up stuff to just crowbar it in. Like, what if I pile up all these fucking awaits back to back and ignore all the fucking all the structure that was built here? What if I smash it all into one function? Will it work? Because if it works, I'm going to leave it like this, and the next developer will cry. As long as it works for now. But yeah, I normally am pretty speedy, and then when I run into something like this, it gets me down really bad because I hate when I'm roadblocked. I hate when I'm going into something and I'm thinking like, okay, I need to do a simple thing here. I know what I need to do. This shouldn't be a big deal. And then I find out Nope. It's not going to let me. Yeah. The problem is I get really anxious and stressed out. And this is the vicious cycle I was in last October where I had all the stomach issues and I have that today as well. I just have a direct stomach response to stress and anxiety. So I just have all this acid. And I'm talking like acid to where I don't even know, it's hard to describe it, but you feel like you're a dragon almost because your breath has a sort of heat to it that's coming from this overabundance of acid in your esophagus. Yeah, it's and it is like you can't function if that's like your whole day. Yeah, I'm constantly balanced on a knife edge with that shit, Kunzi. I definitely said a G sound there. I like I sort of almost coughed. I promise that was a G sound. Um, but yeah, I've been dealing with it for about a year of like trying to change everything I eat and trying to reduce my stress levels as much as I can. And life doesn't really give a fuck about that stuff. But I don't know, it's been on and off. I was on omeprazole for a while to try to mitigate, but that shit, you don't want to be on it forever because it destroys your brain. Like that's the sort of stuff that the doctor that you're dealing with is not a specialist and they don't really give a fuck. They just give you something because you're complaining. It's an acid suppressor. I forget what it is. Whenever I try to say exactly what it does, I get it wrong. It's not like it suppresses some fucking garbage in your stomach, but basically it reduces acid. It reduces acid production. Oh yeah, proton pump. Thank you. You see, this is the difference between being on it for 6 months versus 2 years. I think the first time I tried to convey that information to anybody, I was saying protein pump because I had no fucking idea. It was inhibiting my proton pumps. Well, exactly, Tenosis. I mean, like, here's the thing. Those sorts of frameworks are powerful if there's a game plan. If the team is all working together on that everybody's on the same page. But this is a situation where like one person built one piece of a larger thing in that way, and it's the only thing in that way. And I have no experience with or knowledge of that framework. So for me, I'm picking it apart, trying to fucking, you know, I'm just trying to debug my way through it because I don't have time to learn the entire framework to understand what the fuck is all missing. Yeah, Cone, I'm probably GERD as well. I haven't gone to a specialist. And I don't want to. I've got so many fires burning that I don't even know where to begin to start trying to put them out. But going to like a fucking stomach specialist doesn't seem like one of the ones I want to deal with. It sounds expensive. I have insurance, but like it's expensive in time and money. Fuck. I've been taking these Alka-Seltzer things. They're like berry gummies or whatever. They have melatonin as well, so I take two of those before I go to sleep, and I don't really know if they do anything or not. I still like the past two nights I got up at like 5 in the morning because of my stomach. Yeah, that's all they do is they just tell you really nothing useful. Yeah. I think that's basically level one general practitioner is essentially like you go there and you expect them to figure something out, but they really seem like their function is more to like deflect you away. Like, get out of here. Unless there's something about you that makes me money. Other than that, please fuck off. And they'll try to refer you to some other person. To be honest, I don't trust anybody on like nutrition or diets or anything anymore. I don't know that there is any way of separating out useful information from misinformation in that area of knowledge because it's been so stuffed full of charlatans and grifters and just people in general. I can't even have a tomato unless I just want to have a bad fucking time. Well, it's one of those things where everybody has a fucking opinion. The mainstream attitude about nutrition and diet and so on is so full of basically just like urban myth. It's beyond urban myth, or I mean, urban myths makes it sound like it would be obvious, but it's just like every time you see a thread discussing that kind of stuff, there's always these people that are so forceful with their opinion, and everybody wants to force their opinion about it on everybody else, tell everybody else how to eat and what to do, and blah blah blah. It honestly feels like I eat batteries most of the time. Homeopathy was way more under the radar in the States. I think it got a lot more attention in the UK. Like awareness of what it is higher, I think, generally. But in the States, it is extremely clandestine. I think it's just because of the way we are here with our dumbass approach to medical everything. I would refer anybody to the Amazing Randy and watch him swallow an entire bottle of homeopathic sleeping pills, which is the best refutation that there could really be. Oh. Yeah, I can only eat certain things. I have to be very careful. What I've been finding is that it seems like a significant part of my problem is just not eating consistently or correctly throughout the day because I don't really think about eating. I just will not do it unless I'm reminded to do it or it gets really out of control. I mean, I'm not like anti food, but I could easily go the whole fucking day just focusing on what I'm doing. And then at 6 p.m. or something, I'll be like, oh my fuck, I didn't eat. But I'll by that point I'll be like feeling fucking awful. Yeah, I can't eat anything like once the stream starts, that's the cutoff. For me, that's 9 p.m. If I have anything after that, that's just asking for trouble. And yet I'm always like snacky or hungry after the stream. But I don't, because I know I'll have a bad fucking time. Yeah. Yeah, same for me, same. Like sometimes I get it so bad that it just feels like I have food poisoning, really. It's similar effects if it really is going off. Hmm. Yeah, I've fantasized about that, I'll say. Wish I could have a different stomach. There's uh there's surgeries for like GERD, but it sounds terrifying to me. I hate the thought that they fuck it up because then everything will just be 1,000 times worse. It feels like such a gamble. One thing that I read about that they can do is um, disconnect your stomach and then they basically make like a little inner ridge around the point where your esophagus connects to your stomach. So it's sort of like they take your esophagus and they put it more into your stomach, but create like a little wall so that acid can't go into the esophagus so easily. I don't know. The odds of success are probably pretty good because generally, I think surgery is usually, I don't know what the general stats are, but I have the impression that it's usually fine and that mishaps are usually rare. But the idea of it, of being the mishap of winning that lottery and how much more awful life would be is extremely off-putting. Yeah, I'm definitely very sedentary. Like with all things like that, it's this constant struggle of like you have a routine, you're getting things done, you don't want to disrupt the routine. I'm not 100% sedentary because I do go, I don't know. On my weekends, I move a lot of shit around lately. That's what I've been doing. I don't know what counts as enough moving around and enough exercise. I feel like those numbers are all over the place. Well, you can't jump straight to such a surgery anyway, because as we were talking about, general practitioners are just like shrug. So I would have to go down the long road of seeing a specialist and getting tubes stuck in all of my holes, and then wait and wait and wait, and then discuss options. And I would imagine that surgery would be like the last thing that they would want to do. Yeah, well, I'm not going to take advice from The Rock. I'm going to wager that, being a millionaire and whatever, millionaire celebrity probably makes it a lot easier to have whatever kind of routine you want. There's a vast gulf between us. Not to mention, as I understand it, people that look like that continually, like that shit itself is a full-time job. In his case, maybe he's scaled it back. I don't know. Like a lot of the actors that are like super cut, they have like the incredible like comic book physiques. I feel like I've seen a number of them say that it's a fucking nightmare. I don't know. A number of them. I guess we could. I haven't done one in a while. Don't even know if I remember how. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if it's necessarily peaked. I got off that train pretty early.